Hello everyone and welcome to this week's tutorial. This would be the fourth part of section, actually it will be section 2 of chapter 1, which deals with the central cannon with the 7th pawn advancement versus Black's sandwich of defense, also with 7th pawn advancement. So without further ado, let us begin. Central cannon, pale corner cannon, sandwich of defense, red's b7 plus 1, black counters likewise, and today we will be discussing c8 plus 4 or red's cross Riverbank cannon variation. Now this will be the topic of discussion for today, and with this move red will double down his attack on the central pawn. There will be two pieces attacking the central pawn at this point, and only one horse protecting the central pawn because the cannon would have blocked the horse from protecting the central pawn. Now there are two main variations that were discussed, a4 plus 5 and e3 plus 5. So without further ado, let us go to variation A. Red would play a4 plus 5 to consolidate his defense on the central file. Now red will capture the pawn. So after capturing pawn, red will be delivering a check, and black would counter with c6 plus 5. Now on the surface it would appear that black would have lost a move because he would have moved the cannon c8 equals to 6 followed by c6 equals to 5. However, this is considered to be viable and recommended in this situation because one of the best ways to counter an enemy central cannon is to counter with a central cannon of your own. Now at this point in time, both cannons will be pinning each other, and as can be seen on the position on the board, red would not have developed his left flank, and although black would not have developed this chariot, if the chariot moved, he could always offer a trade of chariots to gain development. So this is considered to be perhaps one of the best moves for black at this point in time. And with this move, there's always a threat of a discovered attack on the red cannon. So it would not be a good idea to play e3 plus 5 at this point, even though black would get to develop his chariot as a kingside chariot. So if e3 plus 5 are played, red will go with h8 plus 7, p3 plus 1. Now, it would not be a good idea, as mentioned earlier, to play r1 equals to 4, because if he did, red would simply play p5 plus 1 to gain the advantage. Let's say if black tried to fork the horses, red would link them from the central file and gain development. This horse would not have to be developed. Red would not need to have to trade pawns to develop this horse. Instead, he could develop his horse from central file and later play an advisor to dislodge the chariot. So red would have the advantage. So p3 plus 1 plus 1, a pseudo sacrifice. The pawn cannot move or the horse would be lost. But red would have other ideas. And he would now develop his horse from this flank. Now at this point in time, the defense on black's right flank is very vulnerable. If the cannon moves, there's always a threat of a checkmate, so red would have the advantage at this point in time. That is why e3 plus 5 is not a good idea. Instead, it would be better for black to play c6 goes to 5, and because the horse was now attacking, red will retreat the cannon one move. Now retreating one move has the advantage. Let's say if black tried to trade pieces, he could always push p5 plus 1, etc. So black would develop his chariot, red will attack. r2 equals to 3. This is a meticulous play. If he chose to play r2 equals to 7 to take care of the elephant, black will first dislodge the red cannon and then force a trade of chariots. At this point in time, again, red's left flank has not yet been developed, and even though after trading material, we can see that red will be forced to trade material, otherwise black would capture the cannon directly with the chariot. And after the trade, red would not have any cannons left on the board. Instead, he would only have 2 horses and 2 chariots. Although in terms of material strength it was the same, but the lack of variety would mean that any potential tactical combinations involving the cannon cannot be used anymore. Black instead would still have a huge variety of material, and usually this would tip the scales in black's favor. So that is why r2 equals to 7 is not advised. Instead, r2 equals to 3 is played so that the chariot will be threatening the horse and indirectly pinning the black cannon over here. Black would play r6 plus 3. Red would retreat the cannon. Black would then play r1 equals to 2 to develop his right flank. h8 plus 7. c2 equals to 4 for defense. The cannon will be ready to attack, etc. e7 plus 5. And red would have the slight advantage at this point in time because of the central cannon over here. So this would mark the end of variation A. In variation B, e3 plus 5 is played. Now this is, technically speaking, this is okay. Black would defend the central file. He would also protect the horse, but this would now leave black no possibility of playing the c6 equals to 5 to counter red's aggression. Now this is usually it is believed that a4 plus 5 is better than e3 plus 5. So red will continue with h8 plus 7. If he still attacked the central file, black had already defended. e3 plus 5, c5 plus 4, a6. Now instead of playing a4 plus 5, black would play a6 plus 5 so that his right flank would not be void. h8 plus 7, b3 plus 1. And black could still be in contention because of a4, a6 plus 5. Red, the threat of this red chariot would be greatly negated because there would be no threat of a checkmate. There'll be no threat of a checkmate. So h8 plus 7, a4 plus 5. Develop the chariot. c equals to 5. Red tries to sacrifice material to mount an attack. If he played h7 plus 6, equals to 4, capturing the central pawn. Black would simply refuse to trade, forcing the horse to make one more move. And black can still put up a fight. Now, the idea behind not capturing the central the pawn is that black would not red will be forced to use the horse to capture, but in doing so, this cannon will be threatened by black's r4 equals to 2. Also, because the central cannon was not here, black could always play h6 plus 7 to trade away the cannon. So red's attack will basically be nullified, and black can still put up a fight. So e7 plus 6 is not a good idea, even though now red will try to attack the central pawn with 1, 2, 3 pieces. c8 plus 5 would be better. And black could start countering with c6 plus 5, threatening the horse. Again, threatening the horse. And red would now sacrifice his horse for an attack on this file. Now this will be a pseudo sacrifice because once the chariot is developed, these 2 black pieces will be in trouble. r4 plus 5, red develops the chariot. Black tries to defend. Red goes for gets a bot corner cannon. r4 plus 1, a4 plus 5 to threaten the material. Black tries to trade material. Capture, check. After trading material, Both colors would still be guided. Red would have lost an advisor, but black's pieces are poorly positioned, and red will still have a central cannon taking aim. So each color will have its scruples, but it will not be very easy for either color to try to control the situation in his favor. So this would be the e3 plus 5 variation. Now let us take a look at the board from the eyes of black. Central cannon, pale corner, file chariot, proper horse, p7 plus 1, p7 plus 1, the cross riverbank cannon variation, doubling down the attack on the central pawn. Now this is red's aggressive attempt on attack. Variation A4 plus 5, protecting the cannon and also solidifying the central file, and more importantly allowing black to play c6 equals to 5 later on. Capture c6 plus 5. Now this will be a very powerful aggressive counter. The cannon cannot move, or this will be a check. If e3 plus 5, p3 plus 1 is played to develop the chariot from this file. If black wanted to develop the chariot from this file, red could always play p5 plus 1 and develop material over here. Red would have an advantage. p7 plus 1, and red will retreat the horse, protect the horse, and be prepared to develop his horses from this file. The central cannon will now be a huge threat. This cannon cannot move, or this cannon will be lost. Now this cannon cannot move, otherwise there will be a threat of a check. So that is why c6 equals to 5 will be more aggressive counter. Red moves the cannon away, otherwise the horse will capture it. r2 equals to 3, a very meticulous move to threaten the horse and indirectly pin the black cannon. If r2 equals to 7, after a few rounds, black would play c6 equals to 5 to force a trade of cannons. Red would not have any cannons left on the board, and the lack of material variety would mean that red can have rosy prospects ahead. Equals to 3, plus 3 to attack the cannon, and red will have a slight advantage in this otherwise very playable situation for black. This would mark the end of the p7 plus 1 variation that was discussed in the book. Again, this is one of the major counters by major variations in this opening system, but it is not so commonly seen nowadays because black would be able to counter red's aggressions very easily and appropriately. So I hope you enjoyed this short video. If you like the work that I've been doing, please do subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you.